Good morning. John Gilkison, Aero Stealth here. It is Monday, um, April 11th, 2022, and I wanted to shoot a video today on benchmarking my car with a 100-mile driving cycle for future testing. As you may have noticed, I'm in some new digs here. I usually try to shoot in the garage to get away from the noise of the house, and I decided, well, we have this fifth wheel trailer. Why don't I just go out there? It's a little more quiet and probably a little more attractive too. So anyway, here we are. Hope this works out. So anyway, I used to do this with my gas vehicles. I would go down to Donyana, which has a gas station right there, right next to the interstate, and I would fill a tank, and then I would get on the interstate, and I would travel about 50 miles north, and then I would travel 50 miles back, and then top off the tank. And then if I had an appliance I was testing for aerodynamics or some kind of condition, I would do the test again. And I would try to pick days that were moderate in temperatures and where the winds were below 4 miles per hour. If I had a tailwind going one way, of course it would cancel out going the other because I was traveling north and south. At any rate, I can't do that with this car. There's no charging point at a gas station, so but I do have a charging point at my house, so I had to figure out a new test cycle. And so what I did is on Saturday we had winds less than 4 miles per hour, and the temperatures was going to range from 70 degrees to 80 degrees. And I was in the middle of a driving cycle in my car. I only had 120 miles of range left, and I didn't want to wait until it was time to charge again. So what I did is I charged up the car to 80%, but I'd set the charging target to 85%. So I could get in the car, and as soon as it got to 80%, I could gather the data on the charge and then unplug it before, if it goes to fully charged, if it went to 85%, it would clear the readout on the center stack in the car. It would zero it out, and I didn't want that. So I just got it up to 80%, and then I drove from my house south about 4 miles at 55 miles an hour, mile and a half at 45, where I could get on the interstate, and I went north to Caballo. And I just drove until I reached 50 miles on the trip. I turned around and came home. And it worked out precisely. I got back in my garage and I had 100 miles on the car. And then I charged to 80% again. And you have to do that. You have to charge to the same level you were at when you begun the test. Because what you're doing is replacing the energy that you used on the trip. So the car took 25.96 kilowatt hours, which we could safely round off to 26. And it averaged 3.85 miles per kilowatt hour, which turns out to be about 129 miles per gallon. It's like 129.6. There's more exact numbers, but you get the idea. So let's say I put a paneling under the back of the car to clean up the air underneath the car. Well, that's what I would do, is repeat this test. And try not to get into conditions that are extremely different. And another piece of paneling I want to put on the car would go around the back part of the hatch where the window is and curve around and clip into the hatch. It would only be a couple feet long, and it would just hopefully try to extend the air from the roof line and the sides of the car back a little bit more level with the back bumper. That and the underbody paneling. And I'm ready to do these experiments now that I've got a new battery pack. So there you have it. That's my regime for setting up testing. And I keep numbers on the car. I've started a whole new set of logs since I got a new battery pack because I don't want to confuse it with the old one. And so can't think of much more to say right now because this is for future reference. But the car's been doing really good since I got the new pack. I'm actually averaging over 130 miles per gallon right now, but I just don't have enough data yet. I've only been going for about 6 weeks, and that was 6 weeks was interrupted by a trip which was 725 miles long to meet a friend at Monaghan State Park. So I've only been charging about once a week, about every 7 days. Other than this one I just did, which was truncated to 6 days. And before I got the new battery pack, I was charging every 3 or 4 days because of the recommendations by GM in order to reduce the risk of any potential for fire. Not driving below 70 miles of range, not charging to over 90%, so forth. So, and I had a smaller battery pack, of course. So, take care, everybody. I hope these videos have been of help to a few people who might be looking to track some real numbers. If you're going to do testing, it's got to be one thing against another, and you have to have a baseline, and it's important. And you got to try to reproduce conditions, and you always have to either go from full tank to full tank or from a certain percentage of charge to a certain percentage of charge. And I chose 80% because that's what I typically run across on the road when I'm traveling. Once I leave the house, I'm never charging over 80% when I get to a DC fast charger. So I thought that was a good idea. And on the road, you'd be all over the map. But if I did 80% to 80% at the next stop, then I would have a good set of numbers for that length of drive. But of course, that's not what a better route planner wants you to do. A better route planner is trying to get you to your destination faster. The most efficient way to do it time-wise. So this test I did on Saturday solved a couple problems for me, and I don't have to go through an entire 725 miles just to get one set of numbers. I can get subsets of numbers if I do what I was just talking about. So take care, everybody. See you on down the road, and watch out for that aerodynamics. It's hiding in plain sight. Bye-bye.